Welcome into The Fade. I'm Clay Travis. She is Kelly Stewart. How does it feel to no longer be the best looking person on this show?
I want to know how this happened. Like, Clay, everybody's like, oh, Clay looks younger with this mustache without the beard. And I'm like, yeah, but if he just from Ryan Dade the beard just a little bit.
Here's the reality. For most of your career, you've always been the best looking person on a show. And now I think you're a little bit uncomfortable with the fact that this mustache has sent me skyrocketing on the sexiness scale. I lost a bet. Nashville had an awful winter storm. And the expectation was we were going to get double-digit inches of snow. For weeks, they were saying, like, it's going to be the biggest snowfall ever. And so my kids, my wife, everybody on social media, they were in disbelief that we were going to have a big storm. And so I said, we're going to have a huge snowstorm if we don't get at least 6 inches of snow. And I said, not a white dude for Harris 6 inches, like a real 6 inches. And that I would grow a beard. Grow a mustache and shave the beard. And we only got 3.5 inches of snow.
Sounds like you're a little disappointed.
Yeah, very much. And so as a result, I now have a mustache. I said I had to keep it until it gets to 60 degrees in Nashville.
Well, that could actually be.
It right now is forecast to be Monday or Tuesday.
Yeah, I was going to say that could actually be in February.
It happens very quickly.
Tennessee's a lot like Kansas. It's just like that weird week where you're like fake spring. Yeah,
we can have like 30-degree differences overnight, like very rapidly.
But you're already letting the beard grow back.
Yeah, it's already starting to come back in. I've got Fox News. I haven't done Fox News with the mustache yet. I'm doing Jesse Waters' show tonight, or at least scheduled to.
I'll be sure to tell Aunt Helen to tune in.
So I'll be actually here on Radio Row. All right, so we are on Radio Row, in case you were wondering. You can tell we're in San Francisco. Before we get into making picks, this is 100% true. This morning, I got up early to go do my radio show, Clay and Buck, and they said, take a car.
Yes.
But when I visit cities, I like to walk to the radio station if I can, because you feel, when you're in a car, like I can just get in a black car and ride anywhere, and it feels kind of the same. You go hotel, restaurant, whatever, it doesn't feel that much different. So I like to walk, experience the city. So on the walk at 8:15 this morning, I passed 8 needles. I counted, just needles on the street, which are terrifying, because in my head I always think, oh my God, like if I somehow nicked my foot on this thing, like you don't think about that when you see a needle. I don't like needles, they make me nervous. And tons of male, I'm assuming male, maybe female, poop. Like actual human feces. It stunk, it was awful, it was not dogs, all right? Why does this happen? Why is there filth? It's the Super Bowl. I thought they would get it super clean. And I'm not saying I was walking in the greatest neighborhood. I walked to the iHeart Studios from our hotel, but it shouldn't be like that anywhere.
No, we get to our hotel. We get in an Uber to go to lunch. We're 2 blocks from the hotel, 2 p.m. in the afternoon, and I was like, the doors are locked, I hope. I mean, it was like, for a woman, it was terrifying.
Yeah.
Our driver says, no. They're homeless. They're harmless, though. I didn't believe him.
Yeah.
And I said, sir, I'm sorry, I don't think it would be safe for Ariel and I to be walking through here. No, it'll be fine. They'll leave you alone. And I don't want to find out.
Yeah, I get it.
So we've only Ubered everywhere. And in fact, we're on a one-way where our hotel is. And last night I had to get a little stern, we'll say that, with our Uber driver around midnight, because I was like, I am not walking down this not lit alley because this is some back way to our hotel. You're going to drop me off. I will tip you an extra $10 to go around the block and drop me off in the front of my hotel, sir. Like, these are games I don't like to play. I feel like people put themselves in bad situations and then bad things happen. I don't need to be a statistic.
I don't worry about it because I'm a guy, but
Yes.
Laura, who you know, my wife, I mean, and you and Ariel and all the other many women who are in here, I don't understand. I say the number one test for a neighborhood is, would you be okay with your wife or girlfriend going for a jog in the neighborhood?
Yep.
By yourself,
Yep.
not like 10 people jogging,
Yep.
like by yourself. The answer should be yes in every neighborhood in
Absolutely.
America, right? Unfortunately, it is no in lots of places. And I feel that way about San Francisco. Like, I wouldn't have wanted my wife to take the walk that I did this morning by myself at 8:15 in the morning.
This is my second time here. The first time we went to Napa, right? So
Yeah,
we didn't
it's
actually
great.
come
Yeah.
to San Francisco proper. We just went to SFO. And I took the tram at the airport and had like a weird interaction. That was last spring. Then we come back. Now we're actually in San Francisco. Down by the water is beautiful. Down by the bridge is like a different planet. But that's exactly what I told my dad. I was like, my dad was stationed at Treasure Island 55 years ago, and he goes, it was a shithole then, Kelly. What do you expect? And I go, well, I expect the same treatment as the president from China.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was going to be like.
He cleaned this place up for the president of China. You couldn't clean it up for us?
I believe that what this city actually represents, I was thinking about it a lot on my walk, is they've convinced people that if they are having success in life, and there are lots of people out in San Francisco having tremendous success.
Gosh.
I mean, the amount of new businesses and everything else, look
at the real estate market.
Capital of the world, yes. But they have convinced people that are successful that it is unkind for them to have high standards for everyone else. I really think so. And so you're afraid if you're having success in San Francisco and you are giving and have high standards for the city, people are like, you're making a lot of money. Why are you picking on homeless people? Why are you picking on drug addicts? It's not picking on, it's trying to elevate. Look, a city filled with filth does not benefit anyone.
No,
and
it doesn't benefit them either.
Yeah, it is, I think, an example of this concept of toxic empathy where you're trying to be so empathetic that you're driving down the overall quality of the community.
It is a very sad thing to see.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw a double amputee shooting up yesterday.
Yeah.
Like, that is very sad.
There are lots of drug addict zombies just walking around this city right now.
I immediately thought, oh my God, I wonder if he's like a Vietnam veteran or something. Like, I immediately went military, and how sad it is that we are allowing anyone to live this way. We are supposed to be the greatest country in the world.
Yeah.
No one should be living like that.
I agree. Well, so that's the take on San Francisco. The game is actually being played in Santa Clara, which is nicer. If you've ever been out here, Stanford is utopia.
Yeah.
This is one
Palo Alto's gorgeous.
My other take on this would be San Francisco is so beautiful that they can put up with filth because there's so much natural beauty around. And so they sort of take it for granted because it is one of the most spectacular settings for any city in the world in terms of just pure majestic beauty. All right, game itself in Santa Clara. Seahawks, Sam Darnold. Let's start with this before we get into the game. If I had said before the season starts, Sam Darnold is going to be on the best team.
If I was Mina Kimes.
Yeah. Is going to be on the best team in the NFC. He's going to perform at a level that he's never, that no one would expect. Team's going to go 14-3. They're going to be the number one seed, and they are going to be in the Super Bowl. If I had said that August 15th, your response to me would have been what?
Well, listen, I do not want to discredit Sam Darnold. We saw what he was able to do with the Vikings
last year.
Kevin O'Connell, I obviously can now say in hindsight, it's much easier to do that maybe they should have kept Sam and not J.J. McCarthy, but he showed promise away from the Jets. I think that shows really what a disaster
the Jets
are. Listen, Ariel was really high on Mike McDonald when he got hired. And I said, we'll see.
Yeah.
I think she might have been right, at least from a defensive standpoint. I think also someone like Sam limiting and mitigating his mistakes, right? We've seen him have a couple of those blow-up games. You and I have talked about it. We talked about it versus the Rams. If he doesn't have a blow-up game, this is a very, very good Seahawks offense as well.
Yeah. Look, Jackson Smith in Jigba has, statistically, a season. I argued this earlier this week on the FS1 show. The best wide receiver year of all time if you adjust for actual pass attempts.
Okay.
Like, legitimately, he's better than the best season Jerry Rice had, the best season
per
Randy
capita.
Moss had. Per capita would be one way to adjust based on pass attempts. No one can cover him. I'll give you a PrizePicks pick that includes that here. But that's the reason. I'll just go ahead and give you my Super Bowl pick. I've got the Seahawks 24-21.
That's my final score.
Oh, you have the exact same?
Yes.
What are the odds of that? All right, so we both have the exact same final score. It means that we are trying to sink kind of a difficult putt here because the Seahawks are 4.5-point favorites. So we're picking money line basically for the Seahawks to win, but that would mean the Patriots cover. Does the line move, or do you think it's basically set at 4.5?
I kept thinking, all right, it went 3.5, 4.5, 5.5. I took 5.5 because I made a phone call and I was like, are we going to see 6? And one of my bookmaker buddies is like, no, we're not going to see 6. And I go, well, if it's all Seahawks money, eventually you've got to start moving the market. I think the sharp play is probably Seahawks money line. That is way too steep for my liking. I'm not that big of a chalk-eating weasel, so I'm not going to ever recommend that to somebody. But because I have Patriots plus 5.5 minus 105, I thought if we start to see Patriots money line come in, right? We know that that's coming. when the general public's going to get involved, if they're betting the Patriots, they're betting the money line. I thought maybe we'd see it drop below $2. I can maybe be enticed to try to middle this game. That is not what the bookmakers want. I can assure you they do not want a 3-point game by any stretch of the imagination. That would be bad news for them. But yeah, I agree with you. We're trying to sink a difficult putt here, but I absolutely think Seattle's going to somehow win this football game, probably on the backs of their defense. But I also say that with 24-21 final, and I don't really like the under.
Yeah, well, that's what I was going to say. It's like dancing right around the right. I'm looking at it right now, 45.5.
Yep.
So we're basically right on the number.
Well, we're right on the number, and that being said, we've seen it so many times outside of that god-awful Patriots-Rams game, where we saw a lot of garbage time. A bunch of the props started to go over. The game went over. I'm not holding an under ticket in this game.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to talk about how abysmal Drake May's been offensively in the playoffs. It's because he hasn't had to do anything.
Yeah.
When he had to make a play against the Broncos to put the nail in the coffin, he made the play. He's not that hurt. He's had 2 weeks off. Vrabel, time to prepare. I think this is going to be a really interesting dynamic. I think both defenses are really solid, but I think both coaches are going to have great game plans and ways to exploit the others.
Here's a PrizePicks pick for all of you. PrizePicks.com, code OutKick. You can play in all 50 states, including California, where we are right now, Texas, Georgia, if you're feeling left out. They gave you a free square, so you cannot lose this one. Drake May, more than 1/2 passing yard. There you go. Then I've got Drake May, more than 1/2 touchdown pass. And Sam Darnold, more than 1.5 touchdown passes as well. And then, I mentioned him earlier, Jackson Smith and Jigba, more than 93.5 yards. If those hit, 4-1. You like those or no?
Listen, you're not taking the JSN under, Clay. You want to be contrarian like me? Yeah, right. Don't do that. I think it's a little steep.
It is a big number.
But there's no way I'm taking that under. You're absolutely right. Whether they double team or not, eventually he just gets big chunk yardage, makes amazing one-handed catches. You don't want to bet against that.
They can't cover him.
No.
I don't think anybody can cover him. So, as a result, those four, nearly 4-1. Go to PrizePicks.com. In all 50 states, you play $5, you get back $50. That's $5, you get back $50. In all 50 states, that pays 4-1. PrizePicks.com, code OutKick. Okay. There is, by the way, my mom is texting me about the Nancy Guthrie, no news that I'm aware of, but just everybody's obsessed with the kidnapping. Okay. And I was looking down at my phone. I was like, oh, is this major news? No, it's my mom wanting to talk about Nancy Guthrie. Okay. What prop bets, if any, do you like? Is there anything that you are paying attention to? If there's anything you like, miraculously, without talking, we have the exact same predicted score.
We really do.
So we're on the exact same outcome here. What about prop bets? Do you play them? Is there anything that stands out to you? I'll give you an example for anybody out there. Generally speaking, taking the under on prop bets is much better value.
Correct.
Almost, PrizePicks, for an example. People love picking more because you want things to happen. Betting things not to happen
is not fun.
Oftentimes a lot of value, and it's not as. But is there anything you're watching and you love?
So I actually do have a couple of, we call them more thans, right?
Yes.
A couple more thans. I do like Drake May more than 6.5 rush attempts. I do think that he is going to have to use his legs. He's going to have to get some chunk yardage here on the ground. I'm going to steal one from Ariel Epstein. Sam Darnold's longest rush attempt, over 5.5 yards.
Okay.
That one I thought was really interesting because typically I don't want to get involved with quarterbacks. Again, garbage time. What happened a few years ago?
I was going to ask you about that.
Patrick Mahomes.
Worst bet ever. Tell people. Patrick Mahomes is over, 29.5 yards or something like that?
27 and 28, right in that market.
And he took 3 straight knees, and they took him down.
Yep.
And he was way over the number.
Way over. He was like in the 30s.
Yeah.
But it kept losing chunk yardage every time because they kneeled down to win the game. It was, I was sitting in the sportsbook in Vegas, and the groans.
Yes.
The people were physically ill.
Yep.
So, listen, again, that's not a fun time to take an under, but boy, was that a fun cash, right?
Yes.
I mean, you were dead in the water. But just keep that in mind when you're making some of these bets. I think a lot of people like to formulate these parlays or these prize picks or whatever. They have a narrative in their mind. They have a scenario how the game's going to get played out. And I like to say, yes, it's nice to have things correlated, but then you get buried if we see a fourth quarter like we did last year.
Yeah.
Right? And all that garbage time. Kenny Pickett attempted a pass last year, right? If Drake May does happen to get tackled a little too hard, has to go out for a series, something crazy happens, and another guy has to step in, these things start to really mess with your narrative as far as the game goes. I will say this. Ariel showed me a tweet, and I apologize I don't have it handy, but it was about the aggressiveness of coaches. Not 20 minutes later, I get a text. I have an automated text service, some sharp plays that I get. They took they took no fourth down conversion attempt.
Yeah.
Not yes or no, will there be a fourth down conversion? No fourth down conversion attempt, plus 170 for Seattle.
Oh, wow.
And she had just showed me that Mike McDonald is the least aggressive coach. Of
in
course,
terms of going for it,
because
in an era when everybody goes for it now all the
we
time.
know Dan Campbell, we know Vrabel, we know those guys at the top of the list, but he is the least. And I said plus 170. Of course, the second I log in, I'm trying to hurry, it's already plus 150. It might be significantly lower now, but I thought that one was really intriguing. So there are things that you can have as your game script goes. You may need the Seahawks to attempt that fourth down conversion though, if you laid the points. So kind of try to spread things out. Dig a little deeper. Yes, JSN, everybody is going to have that. 99.9% of the money is going to be on the over because nobody wants to be holding an under ticket.
All right, halftime length. It's super long. Usually you have to rush 12-minute halftime NFL games. Is there anything you look at in halftime of the Super Bowl? Is there anything that changes in terms of adding what you have on the table? Do you bet the Super Bowl or analyze what you've done in the Super Bowl differently with this massive length of halftime? Or do you treat it as a regular game?
You know, I really do try to treat it as a regular game, Clay. I tell everybody I have made mistakes, so learn from me. This is just, if you made this game at 1 p.m. on Sunday, how much money would you have in play, right?
Yeah.
So you're going to have some
Because people have a natural inclination to put way more money down in the Super Bowl.
And you know the last time I did it? When these two teams played.
A decade ago.
I'm standing there at the Westgate. We got all these cameras for a docuseries following us around. I had brought more money, and the guy was like, oh, it'd be really fun if you put down $3,000. And at the time, $1,000 was my biggest bet.
Yep.
And I was like, I just felt that like...
The adrenaline rush and the attention.
And I was like, okay, I'm going to do it. And look, Pete Carroll run the ball.
Oh, yes.
And that is how this game's going to end. It's going to be something crazy. We know it's the Super Bowl. So do not wager more in any form or fashion, whether you're putting together parlays, whether you're doing PrizePicks, whether you're playing certain contests, than you would on an average Sunday. So to answer your question about halftime, neither one of these teams particularly has some great second half performance, so probably not.
Yeah.
Right? Now, if I have Patriots in pocket plus 5.5 and they're up 14-3 at halftime, there's my opportunity instead of laying Seahawks money line to come back, take Seahawks.
Have a big middle.
And have a bigger middle than I would have that 5.5. So, that could come into fruition. We have to see how the first half plays out. I know a lot of people that did lay 3 first half with Seattle. I will say that. I know a lot of people expect Seattle to get out to that early lead, as we've seen them do throughout the playoffs. Personally, I think I could easily see it being a 10-7 halftime.
Talk billions of dollars bet on this game.
Billions.
So, billions. We're taping on Thursday afternoon. Sunday. Do you expect to see money come pouring in one way or the other? Do you think the line, I kind of asked this question a little bit earlier, but the amount of money coming in is substantial. Does it move things at all? Is there any value in waiting till the final couple of hours before kick in your mind?
So here's kind of the real reality about this standalone game. The public does not move money all year long. Very, very rarely. Even on a Sunday primetime game, right? The bookmakers are not moving off the public money. In the Super Bowl, they actually are forced to move off the public money. I could see this one getting back to 5.5. Again, bookmaker I spoke to said, no, we're not getting to 6. Take the 5.5 if you got it available, minus 105, so I did. It's all Seahawks money. I've been here for, 3 days now?
Yep.
I have met one other person that likes the Patriots with me. Everybody thinks it's going to be a Seattle blowout. Every athlete we've spoken to, I think 2 of them said that they kind of like the Patriots. The narrative is just that the Seahawks just steamrolled everybody throughout the playoffs, and maybe the Patriots shouldn't be there. They have this easy schedule. Drake May's only 23. I have not been high on this Patriots team for the entirety of the season.
Yeah.
And guess what? They're 14-5 against the spread, Clay.
Yeah.
I'm not betting against this Patriots team again. I'm just not doing it.
How do you think Mike Vrabel's wife is going to react if he wins the game?
Probably the same way that I would react if my husband won a Super Bowl.
I like Mike Vrabel. Mike, this is an all-time endorsement opportunity for you to do advertisements for people snipping themselves. Think about it. If he wins, he said he was going to cut his dick off, for those of you who don't know. Then he made an amazing line. I saw Will Compton last night. They had him on again. Will Compton used to play for the Titans. And Vrabel said he would only take half his dick off and he would leave 6 inches for his wife, which is an unbelievable line. Well done by him, all right? Reminds me of one of the great all-time dick jokes from guys when they're fishing. You stand and you got to pee. If you haven't ever dropped this one, it's a good one. Water's cold. Water's cold, great line. People nodding in the background there. If you're a fisherman, you know what I'm talking about. Standard joke. You go to pee, water's cold today. All right, so he should do a vasectomy ad. He could make, I don't know if anybody else has suggested this to him.
Maybe there's a big doctor in the Boston area.
Well, I mean, he's probably, he doesn't want to have any more kids, I can't imagine. He's over 50. Even if he's had a vasectomy, he should lie. I'm not talking about...
He should lie.
He should lie. I'm just telling you, lie. I think that could be one of the all-time greatest endorsement ads.
That's
Mike
hilarious.
Vrabel, I was going to cut my dick off. Instead, I just decided to make sure I didn't have any more kids. If you want to snip your dick, but not the full dick, but you just want to make sure that you don't have any more kids, then you should do what I did and get a vasectomy with whoever the greatest vasectomist out there is. Anyway, that's an idea. You probably weren't expecting that. Mike Vrabel, I just made you 7 figures on that.
You're not wrong.
No,
I just saw Brian Urlacher over there. He looks great with hair.
Yeah.
I saved
Oh,
me.
hair locker.
Yeah.
All right, so what else is out there that you think people should know at the last minute as they get ready for the Super Bowl? Any other last-minute advice?
Yeah, again, guys, this is just one game. I know it's a Super Bowl. It's so exciting. Just mitigate your risk appropriately. Do not do anything completely damning. We got March Madness right around the corner. I am so excited about March Madness, and subsequently NFL is going to be here before we know it.
No doubt. All right, listen here. PrizePicks, code OutKick, $5. You put it in, and you get $50 in credit in your account. It's code OutKick. Jackson Smith and Jigba, more than 93.5 yards. Drake May, more than 1.5 passing yard. Drake May, more than a half of a touchdown. Sam Darnold, more than 1.5 touchdowns. Those have to be passing, not running or receiving. And we both have the Patriots plus the points, but we also think that the Seahawks find a way to win. We have the exact same final score. I don't know if that's ever happened before.
I don't know if that's a good thing, Clay.
I am Clay Travis, the sexiest member of the show. Kelly Stewart used to be good looking compared to me. Now she's number 2 on the draft board, thanks to the mustache. This has been The Fade. I hope all of you enjoy the Super Bowl, and hopefully we can make you some money. Thanks for hanging with us this season.